Hello everyone, this is Sudashini. Here we will learn about Android SQLite database operations. So before getting into the exact topic, we should know what is the overall view of database. Just we can talk something like what is front end and then back end. So when coming for the front end, where the user can interact with your applications is called as in front end. For example, you're creating Android applications and then Java applications and then VB projects. Okay, so whenever as a user, if I'm interacting with any kind of applications in the mode of running mode, okay, in the running mode view, so definitely as a user, I can interact with the application by the way of controls and then mouse events, some kind of input activities will be there and then output activities will be there. Okay, so the interacting of the entire interface will be called it as a front end. Okay, so probably we can say the Android Studio or maybe the Java, the entire environment will be called it as in front end. Okay, so then move for the back end. So what we can say it is in back end. So the backend probably it's not going to generally view by the user or maybe as a programmer. We cannot see actually what is happening inside. I mean, whenever we are working in an application, but still within your backend, we can store some kind of informations. Okay. So I mean storing of informations will be called it as a backend. So this front end and then back end is very important. Using of your front end, the user can interact with the application, and then using of your back end, the information can be pooled. The information can be stored within your back end. So this two phases is very important when you are creating any kind of project. Okay, so probably people have come across how to create an interactive application using this Android. Okay, so now in this session we will see how your information can be fed, how your information can be stored in a database. Okay, we will look into that. So here we are using the SQLite database concept. So this SQLite database is just like a open source relational databases. So first we will know the term what is open source. So any kind of software, if you're terming as a word of open source, is means it's not going to demand any kind of amount for you to purchase it. So everything will be in a free way. Okay, I mean the product is consists of different kind of coding. As a user or maybe as a program, if I want to change this, change the existing project or maybe change the existing software means definitely it's possible. I mean it's allowable to change your existing software. I mean for example PHP and then Java, we can say it as an open source. So they are providing some kind of software to you, and then they can also give some kind of privilege to the programmer to update the existing code. Okay, so and then especially it's not going to depend on any kind of operating system. For example, if you're working with Java, Java can be adaptable in Linux or Unix environment, and then it can be adaptable on Windows environment, right? Okay, I mean Windows operating system. So if we are using this Java, we can consider as an open source. We are not going to depend on a particular operating system to work this Java. Okay, so this is the mode of open source. I mean, I hope you people can understand what is open source. So this open source is going to provide you open platform. It's not going to depend on any kind of operating system. Okay, so we can I mean deploy it in any kind of operating system, and then they can give you the free will of privilege to modify the existing code. I mean just you can think that you can also can be a creator for the existing code, I mean which is offered by I mean open source software, right? So in this SQLite, they are giving a concept of open source. This SQLite is an open source platform mode of access, and then they are saying as in relational database. Okay, traditionally we can say it as an database management system where you can pull the informations, where you can store the information by the way of files and directories will be there. Just you can click on the particular file and then you can see that, and then you can store the files in a hierarchical way. So these kind of activities or there in the traditional DBMS. Okay, so when coming for this relational databases, you can pull the informations, you can store the informations by the way of tables, databases, tables, and then in a way of rows and then column. We can have a different kind of tables within your single databases, and then each and every table can consist of different attributes. For example, you're generating a table for your class. Okay, so probably you can have the attributes like register number, name, and then your subjects mark likewise. Or maybe if you want to store your personal information, means name, address, your father name likewise. Okay, so this table is consists of different attributes, and then uh, different number of informations can be pooled, and then it's have some kind of structured way, I mean organized way of accessing your database is there within your relational database. When compared to the traditional DBMS, RDBMS something is beyond the level, beyond some kind of higher end level will be there using of this RDBMS. And then using of this RDBMS concept, we can interact more number of people can interact, I mean multi-user possibilities of interactions can be there in your RDBMS. I mean, for example, you're having a database, it's not only specifically for a single user to interact. Okay, using of a database, definitely we can interact, I mean, we can interact with more number of people. For example, you're booking a movie ticket. Okay, so this entire platform of your website, no, especially for the reservation of any kind of movie, you will be approaching maybe mobile app or maybe some kind of websites. Okay, so this website is not only strict for only one kind of user, I mean specifically for a single user. I mean this website can be accessible for any kind of users. I mean multiple users can be participate, I mean multiple users can access your particular websites. Okay, so these kind of activities can happen using of this RDBMS concept. Okay, directly we will move on to the SQLite. So within your Android Studio, within your IntelliJ is a platform you are using. So within using of this IntelliJ, you are creating Android app. Okay, so in this front end we need of backend, I mean where I can store my informations. Okay, so why we need of database is nothing but I mean before getting into this database, you people might have experience with different kind of I mean creation of apps, no. So whenever you're opening your environment, whenever you're running your the mobile app. Okay, so you're entering some information and then you can do some kind of manipulations, and then after completion of your applications, I mean you can close your product and then again you can open your the I mean again you can run your product, no. So whenever you're running your environment, whenever you're running your project, you're able to give a new data, I mean the previous data will not be stored. Okay, so for this purpose only, to store your informations we need of backend. So in this Android we are having the concept of SQLite database. We are using this SQLite database to store your informations. So this SQLite is kind of open source. It's having of two classes, I mean SQLite Open Helper and then SQLite database, right? Using of this SQLite Open Helper, having the activities of creation, I mean upgradations, and then get writable database. Okay, so when coming for this SQL database, it's the general activities of insertions, updations, selections, deletions. So all kind of activities can be possible using this SQL database. So within your SQL DB, we are having two main classes. One is SQLite Open Helper and the second one is SQLite Databases. So whenever you're, I mean, approaching with the database concept, we must know what kind of classes are there, what are the inherent methods are there to make use of it. Okay, so using of this SQLite Open Helper, so which mainly deals with the creation. So at the initial stage itself, you need to create your database and then table. Okay, so the creation activity, and then to update any kind of I mean modifications to the existing database like insertion, deletions, and then updations, no. So for these kind of activities, definitely your database should be in a open mode. Okay, so for this, SQLite Open Helper is going to be very useful to do these kind of activities. So initially is going to useful for creation of your DB, and then upgradation is nothing but to move from older version to newer version. Okay, that is called it as an upgradation. So in your project, if you want any kind of upgradations, means we can make use of this upgradations method. Okay, so and then get writable database is nothing but is going to give you the open connections. I mean, before doing any kind of modification, our database should be in an open mode. I mean, it can be in a mode of writable and then readable also. Okay, so to do any kind of modifications, your at the very first time your database should be open. At the same time, it should be in a writable mode to make any kind of changes, right? Okay, when coming for this SQL database, this is also another class within your SQLite database, which is having a different kind of interactions like inserting of record, updation of your record, and then to retrieve using of this select, we can retrieve the informations, and then deletion of some kind of record. So these kind of activities can be possible using this SQLite database class, which is already inherited within your SQLite. Okay, so I mean to access your informations, we are having this execute SQL compile statement and then raw query, and the exact we need of some kind of SQL query to activate your database, to activate your table, no. So these entire operations can be possible using this SQLite database. So directly we will look into in detail of this SQLite Open Helper. So this SQLite Open Helper having of two constructors. So before getting into this, how the way we have to access this SQLite Open Helper. So as we know this SQLite Open Helper is going to useful for database creations as well as your version management. So database creation is nothing but to create a database and then to create your table, and then version management means so to update your older version to newer version, it is called it as an updations. Okay, to manage your versions of your existing software means we can make use of this SQLite Open Helper is a class. So this class is having of constructor. So obviously you know what is constructor. So every class has its own constructor with the same name. I mean a method which is having a same name as a class. So there is no need to access your constructor separately. Whenever you are creating an object for a particular class, automatically it will invoke the constructor. Okay, so that's what within your SQL Open Helper we are having this constructor. So having different kind of parameters, context, and then string, SQL database, cursor factory, and then int version. So to create an object for it will create an object for creating and then opening and then maintaining a database. So this context is nothing but it's going to denote the exact current activity of your application. So whenever you are making use of this context, so in which context you are speaking, in which context you are trying to convey. Usually in a communication, we usually say, you know, in context, I mean what kind of meaning you are going to convey. Okay, the same way the context is nothing but it's saying that the current situation of your application, the current situation of your framework, the present activity of your context is going to be denoted in the first parameter. And then second, the string name. The string name which can be consists of the creation of database query will be there. And then here SQLite database cursor factory. So it's nothing but by default we are having a cursor factory. So you very well know what is cursor. So I mean, for example, I'm moving this cursor, no? So this mouse, whenever I'm moving this mouse, so we are able to see this cursor. Okay, the same way the table is consists of different kind of rows. Okay, so if I want to access any kind of row, or maybe if I want to access a sequential of rows, I mean first row, second row, or third row, or maybe if I want to access a particular row means, so we need a pointer, we need a cursor pointer there. Okay, so for this we are having a different cursor factory which is available in your SQL database. Okay, so we have to make use of this. The third one, okay, if you're putting as null, by default is going to take it up. Okay, so finally we are having a int version. So version means what kind of version of SQLite database, database we are using, or we have to mention this version in the last parameter. Fine. So the same way, second is also another constructor which is also having the same as the previous one, but still the last parameter is having of database error handler. In case if to activate this particular constructor, if I'm having any kind of issues, means this error handler is going to be erased. Okay, I hope you people have come across with the Java exception handler. I think so. Okay. So in case of any kind of errors when we are activating this constructor, this error handler will be raised to show, what kind of error has been erased here. Next thing, we will move on to the methods of SQLite option helper classes. Different methods are there. As we said, on create, so which is used to call only once my database is created for the first time. So this on create is going to call only once, because only once only we are going to create a database. So whenever you are accessing your system, whenever you are accessing your application, that is not necessary to create a database every time. Okay, so only once we can create a database. Within a database we can create a table, and then within your table we can insert any number of rows. Okay, so this on create will activate only once. At the very first time only we can activate this on create using of this SQLite open helper. And the same way, which we already know, on upgrade. So to upgrade your new versions, older versions to the newer versions, we can make use of it. And then synchronize void close, to close the database, we have to use this. And then downgrade, similar to this upgrade. So downgrade is somewhat slightly differ. If I want to downgrade my versions, upper versions to lower version. If I want to downgrade my upper versions to lower versions, means I have to make use of this methods. Okay, so these are all the methods for your basic awareness, before getting into the programmatical code. And another kind of method within your SQLite open helper is get writable database. So which I already said that using of this get writable database, whenever this method is getting into the invoke means whenever this method is called, so it's automatically create and then on upgrade and then on open. So these activities, this method is also simultaneously called, so based on the request. So using of this get writable database, whenever we are need to change, whenever we are in need to modify your applications, definitely we have to make use of this get writable databases. So whenever you are using this get writable databases, obviously this on create and then on upgrade and then on open, so this method will be invoked. Okay, so obviously on create is the only one is going to do. Whenever we need of upgrade, we have to use this, and then on open is a very essential part here. So using of this on open, so obviously we can have the opportunity to modify your environment, to modify your table. Modification in the sense we can insert, we can delete, and then we can update your informations. Okay, so using of this get writable database, we can make so all those possibilities. By default, this on create and then on upgrade and then on open method will be called by default whenever you are accessing this get writable database methods. Directly we will move on to this SQLite database class. So actually in the previous slides I have mentioned no. So SQLite database consists of the complete interactions, the complete operations of your database. Insertion, deletions, updations. Okay, so these kind of activities will be there in your SQL database class. So using of this EXESQL, so directly we can give the complete query. Directly we can give the complete query of your string. Query is nothing but to create your table or to access your table, to insert your insert some kind of information, some kind of rows to your table or to delete the particular row means we need of some kind of query. Okay, so the entire query can be explicitly mentioned here. This exasql can operate it to execute the particular query which is in the form of string. And then we are having a insert method is also there. So using of this insert method we can insert the information. So the first parameter you have to give the table name, and then the last parameter we are having a content values. So here the entire informations of your attributes with the corresponding data, I mean the entire attribute name and then corresponding data will be passed here. We will look into that in the programmatical aspects later. So second parameter we are having string null column hack. So obviously we have to give null, I mean your data can adapt the null statement also. I mean if your data is having of empty statement, it can also accept, but still it's having some kind of restriction. Is nothing but we have to be strictly give your attribute. For example, you are having a student table. Within your table you are having attributes like register number and the name. Okay, register number and the name and then remarks. Okay, so I'm having three attributes. These three attributes should be inserted within your table. Okay, so here we are going to give the table name and then we have to mention the three attributes with the corresponding value. So if your value is null, it can be accepted, but still by inserting the information, definitely you have to give the column name. Okay, so for this only we are I mean stressing some kind of restriction is there. I mean null column hack. Okay, so definitely we have to make use of the column name to insert your informations. And then update, same way we have to give the first parameter as a table name. Second parameter we have to give the attributes and then corresponding data within this. And then the third one, var class. I mean var class means update means which row is going to be updated based on which constraint. For example, you're having the same kind of student table, so your name is spelled out wrongly. Okay, so what I have to do is, so your name is going to replace in the correct name. Okay, so for this the first parameter you have to give the table, and then the content values is you have to give the content, I mean the original content which is going to be replaced. And the third parameter you have to mention the attribute name, and I mean which attribute you have to denote. Okay, so in the fourth one, so based on this attribute what the content is that I am going to search for. Okay, so these are all the four parameters we have to give to update your informations. The same way the cursor, this cursor is nothing but to retrieve the information. I mean after insertion, after updation, definitely we must have some kind of ambience to view the table, no? So for viewing aspects we need of cursor. This is also some different kind of activities like string table. The first parameter we have to give the table name. Second, we have to give the complete column. What are the columns you are having? So everything is based on string array. You have to spell it out like this. And then the third one, whether we have to select a particular row based on the column, you have to do this. And the selections, or what kind of selection arguments we have to give. And then group by is nothing but whether we have to grouping based on some kind of attributes, like we have to make use of this group by. Just we are going to cluster the information. Okay, we will look into that in your code. And then having is nothing but just as a var condition. Var condition means is going to fetch the information which is having this kind of ID. Who is having a name starting from this, who is having the initial as yes. Okay, so just having some kind of var conditions will be kept here. Finally, we are having order by. So order by is nothing but whether your complete information is going to be set it up in a ascending order or maybe in a descending order. Okay, so these are all the methods which is there in a SQL database class. And then one more method I left out, I think so, that is called test and delete operations. The same way delete operations is a predefined method where we have to pass the same kind of string table and then content values as well as the var class. What column we have to specify, and then for the particular column what data I have to specify to delete out. Okay, so don't worry, we will see in the program code for your deletion process. Okay, so in this, Just I have mentioned the concept of your SQLite database. Okay, hope you people have some kind of idea about what is SQLite database and then different kind of classes we are using, especially for your overall process for the creation of database, table upgradation likewise. And one more thing is directly interact with your database like insertion, deletions, and then updations. Okay, hope you people have some kind of idea, some overall awareness about this SQL Lite database. Thank you.